Welcome to the course on creating your very first Facebook Messenger chatbot. This is brought to you by Aha Moment Labs. If you will come on over to our Facebook page and like us, as you probably guessed already, we are also building a chatbot for Facebook Messenger. So let me show you what our bot looks like right now. Now this is in development. It's very simple. You can come on to messenger.com or send us a message right through the Aha Moments Labs Facebook page. And what happens when you send us a message, you're going to have a welcome message that comes back, and then the robot gives you a couple of options. In this case, it's, do you want to come into the lab or do you want to blow my mind? So we selected in the lab, and then it comes in and it responds right here. And it says, hey, check out our latest bots, get inspired, online courses, get a free bot. We'll talk more about that later. The other last option here is chat with us. So let's say we went to courses. The robot responds with a couple of messages. These are called cards in the Facebook UI. And this is called a carousel. And then from this, I can come in here and I could select one of these other options like watch a free preview, take this course. In this case, this is the course that you're taking right now. Let's see what a free preview will look like. This is the videos to it. This is some more content. So this kind of gives you a very good idea of what you can do with a chatbot. Now let me show you another one. This is from CNN. So as you can see, it's pretty much the same. You can come in here and you could type something to CNN like hi, and it'll respond back. It'll say top stories for you, ask CNN. Let's say that I'm interested in the NFL. I push NFL. And now it's giving me some stories that are happening in the NFL as we speak. And I could see if the stories are for me. This is going to be content that they've generated specifically for me based on my history. I could read the story. I could ask CNN, which is something I just did. And then let's say we collect hit story, boom, it sends us to another page. Now we don't want to do that, but it kind of gives you an idea of what's possible. So when you hit on one of these buttons, either you're going to be sent somewhere else like a URL link, or it's going to be a payload where the bot responds. Facebook has done a great job of simplifying this process and this experience. In this course, we're going to be making a bot that is based on our Smart Notes chatbot. Now, our Smart Notes bot takes your notes and it makes them smart. So you've probably emailed yourself in the past. What this bot will do is it'll take those notes for you. So you can go and you can message the note. It'll let you create a hashtag around that note so you have like a topic. It will let you set a reminder for that note, and later you could always search your notes. You could always search your dialogue. So this is the bot right here. And so you come in here and you write something like, let me write something real quick. And I use a hashtag. I'll say hashtag ideas. Let's do that. Now the note takes this and it's going to respond back with a payload, and it's going to respond back pretty much in the same exact way that I wrote it. So it took this and then noticed that ideas was my topic, so it said a topic. It took my message and it created a description with it, and now it's letting me do something with this content. I could set a reminder for it. I could share it. I can do a bunch of other things with it. So I don't want to get too far into this, but basically we've taken one of these features from this app, and it's this feature of parroting back what the user says. So we took this feature and we created this course around it. So at the end of this course, it's going to parrot back what the user says, and it's going to give them some options. It could be give them cards, and these cards will have links. So in this bot, if you could set a reminder. It'll ask you, when do you want to be reminded? Then you let it know, and then it'll set it for you. So once again, I strongly urge you, come on over to Smart Notes. Like the page, you could start playing around with our bot. It's going to be available very, very soon. And you can also come to our Aha Moments Labs and like our page as well, and play around with that bot. If you're a content creator, a small business owner, it's a great thing to have a bot. There's a specific use case where users go nuts for chatbots, and we're going to be exploring some of that stuff in this course. Also, if you're interested in a free chatbot, come on over to Aha Moment Labs, and I will have a link to getting a free chatbot. So once again, thank you for taking this course. If you have any questions throughout at any time, feel free to ask me. I'm available, and I'll answer all your questions with the utmost urgency. Also, I have a couple of other suggestions that you can do, which I think would be great. And this is going to help in your development. These are communities online that are very thriving. They're very hot. They're very new. And I strongly urge you to join them. One of them is AI chatbots. Then there's also one on Reddit that's very good. So you can come on over to Reddit or chatbots. This lets you keep up with some of the latest and greatest things that are happening in chatbots. Kind of keeps you in the loop. So once again, thank you for taking this course, and I look forward to teaching you, and let's build some great bots together. Welcome to the class. Thank you for signing up and joining, and I'm very excited about teaching it. So let's dive right in. So the very, very first thing we want to do is open up our terminal or command line. And the way to do that is just to come up to the search for it, and you can put in command line or terminal. Terminal is for Mac, command line is for Windows. So you can go ahead with the corresponding one, and it shows up kind of like this. It's also in your utilities in case you need to look there. So once you have opened it up, it's going to look something like this. And the very first thing we want to do is we want to check to see if we have Git. So to do that, you just put GIT and then enter. If this happens when you put GIT enter, that means that you have Git, and you could skip the next step. If you do not have Git, what you need to do is come and get it, and the best way to get Git is to go to git-sem.com downloads, and then just download it for your computer, install it, and then make sure that you have it on your machine. The best way to do it is just to come back to the command line, push in Git, and then this should happen. So once you've done that, the next thing we want to do is we want to sign up for GitHub. GitHub is a repository. It has millions of coders, developers are on here. We're all sharing information, going back and forth, collaborating on projects. It makes it very easy to work with other people by using GitHub. So you can come in here, pick a username, email, create an account. It's free and it's awesome. Totally recommend it. And we're going to be using GitHub extensively through this course. So once we have this, the next thing we need is we need somewhere for the app to be. We need essentially a server. We need a hosting for the app. And when you have an app, you cannot use hosting like HostGator or something like that. You need to have special hosting for apps. And Heroku, I think, is one of the best. They also give you a free account. So it's great for developers and coders that are just creating things and they want to use it. I totally recommend it. Just come on, sign up Heroku.com or Heroku.com, and all you have to do is just come and follow this very simple process and then create your free account. And then once you've done this, the last thing we need is a work environment. We need an IDE. So one of my favorites is Visual Studios. Very easy. It's also free. It's provided by Microsoft. You just come in here, you download it, you install it, and then once you've done it, open it up. When you open it up, you should see something like this. This is what Microsoft Visual Studios looks like. It's very simple. It's almost like a WordPad. You can come here and you could type. Kind of got the idea. So we're going to be creating files in here. We're going to be saving them. We're going to be committing them to GitHub, and we're also going to be sending them to Heroku so the app could run. So once you've done this, the very last thing I need you to do is log in to your Heroku through the command line. So you're going to copy this $Heroku login. You're going to paste it in here, and you're going to press enter. Now, I'm already logged in, so I don't need to do this, but you need to do this, and you need to make sure that you can log in through here. So once you've done this, we're going to be able to do things in the future like initiate a new directory, add files, commit them, and then push them to Heroku Master. We're going to be using this extensively. So once you've done this, great job. You're ready to move on to the next lesson. Next, we're going to be creating the server. So setting up the server is very simple, but it has to be done right. It's very, very pivotal. So what we need to do is install Node.js. If you don't already have it, head over to nodejs.org, install it, and make sure that it's running. Now, once it's running, it's actually going to be running and accessible through your terminal. So it's not something that you're going to have to open up and run. So once you've done that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be installing the Heroku toolbelt. So in order to do that, just head over to toolbelt.heroku.com and download and install this as well. Once you've done that, we're going to be following these instructions. It's very simple. You're going to come into your terminal. You're going to log into Heroku by following this command. It's $Heroku login. And let me show you what that looks like in here. You're going to press enter. It's going to ask you for your login and your password. Once you've done that, you want to CD into your app. So you probably don't have an app folder created, so we're going to create one right now. So let me show you what that looks like. So before we can do that, we need to go over some of the command lines that you can be using right here inside of Terminal. So when you see this character right here, that means that you're in your home directory. So anytime you're curious where is home, this will signify it. So once you're in this directory, you can do certain things. So for example, let's say we did the ls command. It's going to list out all of the folders that belong to our root folder. So we see we have documents, downloads, Dropbox, pictures, and so on, right? If we want to see where we are in terms of everything else, like what folders are in front of us and behind us and that sort of thing. So we can use pwd, which is going to print a working directory, and you can see we're in SMK, and in front of us it's users. So let's say that we wanted to go into one of these directories. All we have to do is put change directory, which is CD, and then the name of the directory. So let's say we did documents. I'll do copy, and we'll paste it right here, which you're more than welcome to do. And boom, we're in documents, and then you can see right here we're in documents. So if you're ever curious where you are, just print it out, and you can see that we're in documents, and SMK is the folder above us. So let's say we want to go back up to SMK. How would we do that? We would do CD space ... Takes us right back in it, and here we are. So these are some of the very, very high level things that we can do with it. So one of the other things we can do is we can create folders. So in order to make a folder, all we have to do is go to mkdir, which stands for make directory, and then we create the name of the folder. So in this case, we're going to call this Parrot app, or just call it Parrot. So PARROT. And if you want to create this in your right off of your root folder, you can go ahead and do that. But in my case, I want to create it in the desktop. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to come in and I'm going to change directory, go to desktop, and boom, now I'm in desktop, and then I'm going to do make directory. Right, make directory, enter, and boom, I've made the directory. Now let's see if we see if it's there. And it's right here. You can see in the list, Node.js sandbox. It's right there. So let's move into this directory. We'll do CD. And also you want to make sure that it's lowercase, so you don't want to use any uppercase. So now we know that we are here in Parrot, and just to make double sure, boom, we can see we're in desktop in Parrot, in the Parrot app. So let's say that, just to give you another example, it's right up here. So we can see the folder was created. So once we've done that, now we can follow this. So we make sure we're in here, and let's finish up the Heroku install. We want to CD into the app, so we just did that, and then we want to do Heroku create. Okay, now I already have the tool belt, but in your case, you want to do $Heroku create. You can also copy and paste it, and I will provide this stuff in all of the resources, so you can do a lot of copy and pasting. So boom, and just press enter, and boom, it'll let you go ahead and it'll create that for you. So once you've done that, the very next thing I need you to do is you want to get the latest version of npm. Now here's the command line for that. It's sudo npm install npm global, and the way that looks is something like this. Control V, enter. It's going to ask you for your password, so let me put mine in real quick. Once you've done it, it's going to initialize. It's going to go through all these different processes. It's going to install the npm for you and make sure that it's up to date. After we've done that, we're going to initialize Git. What does that mean? It's going to create a repository inside that folder, so we can create programs and that sort of thing. So as soon as this is done, that's going to be the next step. So once you've completed this, it's going to look something like that. So let's do npm Boom, there you go. So now what it's going to do, it's going to walk us through creating the package. So right now the first thing it's asking me is, what do you want to call your app? So I will call it Parrot. Then it's going to say, what's the version? And 1.0.0 is fine. Description, you could add a description here. You can make it say whatever you want. You can skip this just by pressing enter, which is what I'm doing right now. You can add your Git repository to here. Keywords, again, this is so people could find it more easily. Author, you could put your name here. License, and then it'll say, does this look okay? You could say yes. And boom, it's created it for you. So let's do a ls just to see what's in this folder. So now we know that in the Parrot folder, we have the package.json file in there. So once you've done this, good job so far. Now, last but not least, we're going to be installing the dependencies. So this dependency is called the body parser, and it's going to allow us to manipulate how the messages look. So it's going to parse them up. So you can do copy and paste it in here, or you can just follow along and put npm install express request body parser, and then just enter it, and it's going to go through this process. And boom. So now you have the this dependency. It's very, very important that you have this dependency. So once you've done this, congratulations, you have set up your server and you're ready to move on to the next part. And once again, thank you for taking the class. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Welcome back. So now the fun begins. We're going to be doing the index.js file, which is going to be the main file of your app. And it's going to pretty much have a lot of the stuff that Facebook suggests. So here, this is a very important place to come. It's the developers portal for Facebook. And this gives you a complete product overview of your bot and how it should be structured. So let me show you a little bit about it. So one of the things that Facebook wants you to use is cards. So this is an example of a card. So you can see you have like a picture, you have a description, you have a title. Here's a different type of card that has a clickable button. And then this is an example of an order confirmation card, right? Now here it is again. This is with the, this is one of the more popular apps on here right now. It's a weather app. And you could see the difference between the cards, right? And you can have up to 3 options as it currently stands. So here's Zuck's t-shirts. He says, hey, David, what are you looking for? Comfort, style, focus. You could select one of these, and then the bot follows up with another message. So this kind of gives you an idea of the structure of Facebook Messenger bots. I would strongly suggest going and playing with a few of them just so you see kind of what it's like. And right now, the strong focus for Facebook is so the bots, more than anything else, that they're like if-else statements. In other words, you come into the bot, it says, it greets you, it says hello, it gives you a welcome message, and then it gives you a couple of options. Option 1, 2, 3, and then you select one, and then it gives you another few options, and so on. So this right here is a great example. You come into his t-shirt shop, he says, what kind of, what are you looking for today? Style, comfort, focus. And then you select one, and it's going to give you more options, and it's going to have this feel like it's an interactive process instead of it being, you know, a static content. Now they provide some code examples for you, and especially when it comes to the cards. So here's an example for the app get and how to do a webhook. This is right on their site. And as these things change and over time, you can just come in here and get it. So put all of it together, and I have it in a file right here. So I've taken this file, copied it, and then I've pasted it in here. So not to jump ahead, but this is Visual Studios. When you first open a Visual Studios, it's going to be blank, and then it's going to look like this. So what you want to do is you want to do File, Open, and then find the Parrot app, open it up, and then it'll open in here. So I already have it open, so I won't do that. And then what you want to do is you want to come in here, you want to right-click, New File, and call it index.js. Now I've provided the sample code. I want you to copy it and paste it in here, and then you'll have this. So I'm going to kind of give you a high-level idea of what it is. A lot of this stuff is available also on the Facebook developers page. So top of it is basically things like your body parser that you downloaded earlier. That's one of the dependencies. Then you have your webhook right here for Facebook. And then you have, this is spinning to the server. This is the API endpoint. And this part is pretty important. So now this is where it gets interesting. This is one of the webhooks, and this is how it works. So anytime someone uses the text aha, they're going to get 3 cards. Okay, and then the cards are going to be a little bit lower, and I'll show you those cards. So this is one of the types of functionality that you get. It's almost like an if-else statement if you think about it. If someone says the word aha, they get these cards, right? And if they don't, then what happens is we're going to parrot back a message. So here's the parrot back message functionality. And now let's go down to the cards. Again, this is provided by Facebook, and they have different names for the card. It's called generic, and this is the structure of a card. You have the title of a card, you have the subtitle of a card, you can have an image URL, and then you can have buttons. So you can have up to 3 buttons, right? And you kind of have 2 different options when it comes to buttons. A button could be a link that takes you somewhere else, or it could be what they call payload, which responds automatically back with the message. So based on this, you can come in here and you can create more buttons, and you can have different payloads, and most importantly, you can come in here and you can also have different keywords that trigger different cards. So this kind of gives you an idea. Let's move on to the proc file, which is going to be very quick. Next, we're going to create a proc file. Now, a proc file is a file for Heroku. It helps communicate APIs and that sort of thing with Heroku. So in order to create a proc file, we're just going to come and create a new file. We're going to call it proc file, PROCFILE, proc file. Boom. So there it is. And then we're going to copy and paste this code into it. It's very, very simple. You can also just write it out. It's web node index.js. That's it. And then we want to do is come here and just do save. So, and that's it. That's your proc file. Congratulations. You've done great. Next, we're going to show you a little bit about git commit and some other functionality. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Welcome back. So this is the fun part. Now we're finally going to take all this code that we have. We're going to take all of this and we're going to send it to Heroku. So in order for us to do that is we're going to open up our terminal and we're going to follow these directions. So we're going to first type this in. Git status. So note one thing first. Before you type in git status, make sure that you've saved everything. So once you've saved everything, make sure then you can type in git status. So when you do that, this is what should come back. You're going to come back and you're going to get a bunch of files like this that have been modified or deleted or things that weren't tracked. And it's going to say, what do you want to do? These are the files that have not been sent to Heroku. And so what you can do is you can type in git add, and it goes something like this, git add space period, enter, and it's going to set it, and it just added them. So next we want to do is we want to commit it. In other words, send it up. So we'll do git commit, and then we're going to do -- message, and we're going to write something like first version. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do git push Heroku master. What this is doing is it's pushing it to the server. So let's do that here. It's building the sources. It's going to compile it. It's going to build the app. And boom. Well, now we have something called build successful. It succeeded. Now it's compressing it, launching it, and finally deploying it. And now we are done. Congratulations, the app is now up. It's up. So next, we're going to cover how to do webhooks and how to connect it to Facebook. So congratulate yourself. You've done a great job. Basically, you have the app working. It's in the cloud, and we'll see you on the next class. Welcome back. Yeah, so now the fun begins. We're going to actually be working on the Facebook side of it. So what we need to do is go to our facebook.com, and if you don't see this, you might be seeing something like this. If you find yourself on this page, what you want to do is you want to come home. So once you click the home button, the next thing that you want to do is you want to create a Facebook page. Okay, if you don't already have one. If you already have a Facebook page, you can use that page. Now, the reason for this is that your Facebook chatbot is going to be connected to an actual Facebook page. So if you don't have a Facebook page, what you want to do is you want to create a page, and then we're going to connect your chatbot to your page. So creating a page is very simple. You just come in here. You can choose one of these categories, create a name. So in this case, it's the parrot category, and you can come down here and do like software. So now you can kind of get the idea. Profile picture, add to favorites, etc. So I'm going to skip this part because it's very self-explanatory, and it's something you can definitely do on your own. So once you've done all of this, come back home, and then you want to scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're looking for this developer. Click on Manage Apps, and it'll take you to developer.facebook.com/apps. So what you want to do here is we want to create a new app. So select this green button. The other thing you can do is you can come up here to My Apps and say Add New. Either one works. So once you do that, you'll have this option: iOS, Android, Facebook, Canvas, or website. We're going to skip this, and we're just going to go to Basic Setup right over here. And then we're going to have to create a name for it. So in this case, we'll say parrot. This part is optional. Now here's an interesting choice. Is this a test version of another app? You can learn more here. Facebook allows you to have test versions of your app, so you can test it, you can do quality testing and so on throughout the different phases of your developmental life cycle. The benefit here is that it doesn't interfere with your live version, and then you can deploy it very easily and very quickly using this methodology. Now you can go ahead and read this. It's under Test Apps in the developmental portal. Now, for whatever reason, when you're at your Facebook homepage, if you do not get access to a link, if you do not have a developer's link for any reason, you can always just come to developers.facebook.com/apps. So put this stuff in, the display name, the category. You can choose lifestyle, and we'll create an Apple ID. And now it makes sure that you know that you're human. Please select all the photos which show a waterfall. So here we go. So now you're at the product setup page. So you've already put in the app's name, and you put on some very basic information. So let's check this page out, and let me tell you what it's all about. It can be a little confusing in the beginning. So this is kind of a quick overview of creating an app on Facebook. And let's look at some of these things. Now, on the very top, you have Facebook login, audience network, messenger, webhooks, open graph, app center, canvas payments, and then you have all the supporting documentation and additional products that Facebook allows. So one of the things that we're going to be focusing on heavily is this right here, Messenger. So nevertheless, I still kind of want to give you some background idea. Audience network, this allows you to monetize, and Canvas payments allows you to accept payments within your app. Right now, one of the major issues is finding bots. Basically, the bot store doesn't really exist. A lot of people are expecting Facebook to do something completely different, and one of those things is to use the open graph to really drive usage and to make bots easier to find. So keep an eye out for this. For the next part of this, we're going to go ahead and go to Messenger, and we're going to push Get Started. For some reason, it's not working, so let me refresh my page. It might already be over here on the side. Oh, there it is. Go to Messenger, and basically we want to just get started. Feel free to pause this video and read this. It's a very important message. It's basically telling you what Messenger is. Let's get started. And here we are. So this is the under products, Messenger settings. This is very important. So once you have that page, you can go ahead and select it here. And then you have it attached to that Facebook page. Now webhooks. Webhooks is a way for Messenger to communicate with your app. So what a webhook is and how it works is very, very cool. Essentially what's happening is that someone comes into Messenger and they type something like aha moment labs, okay? And this gets sent over and it pulls information from a server, and the server pushes that information whenever that request is made. So for example, you're going to be able to send information to your thermostat telling it to decrease temperature. The Internet of Things will be heavily reliant on webhooks. So in the next video, we're going to explore webhooks and token registration in more detail. Now, some other things that you need to know about is the dashboard. So just come over here, click dashboard. And you kind of have the overview of your app. You have your version, your Apple ID, your app secret. This is something that you could show, but I would have to log in again. Ask for your password, and I don't want to have to go through that process. But you get the idea. It gives you some basic, usage. Obviously, we just created this, so there is none. Other important things. Settings. You have basic and advanced settings. You can always change your email and your contact information. More advanced settings. They talk about server, whitelists, etc. Here's your client token. You could always reset it. Roles. Now this part is pretty important because Facebook allows you to get testers. And to add testers is very simple. You just come over here. And you have to enter the person's name or username, but they shouldn't be your friend. So once you have an app that you're playing around with, it's very important to test it and to have really, really good insights from users. So both of those things are provided by Facebook here, also with adding user insights. And then once you're done, you can always submit your app for review. So from what I'm seeing right now, it takes about 10 days to 2 weeks to get your Facebook Messenger bot approved by the Facebook team, and they're getting something like 10,000 developers making apps. Kind of crazy. So let's go back to Messenger and just kind of give you an overview of what a webhook is. So in this part, we're going to focus on webhooks and creating your first webhook. So in this one, I already went with the Aha Moment Labs bot that I built, and I could show you what that looks like real quick. Here it is. And right now you wouldn't be able to play with it because it isn't open to the public. It's just open to me. And basically it is the parrot bot that we've been working on. And anytime you write something like hi, what happens is the server receives this and it sends it right back to you. It parrots it back to you. So as you can see, boom, it just came back and it said hi, and I got a notification up here in the top right hand corner. Now if we did aha like this, what happens is a little different. Since aha is a keyword phrase that we're using, the chatbot comes back with cards. And these cards are made available again by Facebook. And throughout the Facebook documents, they show you how to structure these cards and they give you the code to do it. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this go live. We're creating exactly this parrot app. So next thing we need to do is we need to come back to Messenger and set up our first webhook. And now it's very simple to do. First thing is you want to come over here and you want to select a page. So in our case, it's Aha Moment Labs, and it'll give you a page access token. So you want to copy that, and it's copied. So I don't want to make this totally available to the world. And you want to come over here and you want to paste it somewhere. So in our case, that's our code. So once we have that, we want to come in here and we want to create a webhook. So you want to set up a webhook, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So it's very simple. Set up webhook. So now we know that's going to ask us two main things: verify token and a callback URL. So our verify token is actually in our code, and let me show you where that is. So if you want to go back to the code and come on to line 21, it is Aha Moment Labs. That is our verified token. I also wrote it down here, our verified token. So you want to copy and paste this in here. So it'll look like this. You want to select all of these options. And then you want to get your callback URL. Now the way to get the callback URL is by logging into Heroku. Once you've logged into Heroku, and here's Heroku, you go to the dashboard, you go to your apps. So since you've been since you've already pushed this app out to Heroku, it should be here. So you find the app. If you have two of them and you don't know which one it is, and if one of them has these Z's on it, it means it's asleep, so it's definitely not that one. So you select the app. Once you're on the app page, you want to select Open App. It'll open it up for you, and this is your domain name. Now to get the webhook is very simple. You just add a webhook at the end of this. Right? Webhook. I wrote it down here as well. So you want to copy that. Come back to Facebook. Enter it as the callback URL. And then you want to verify and save. Now since I've already done this, I won't do this again. Instead, I'll just take you to the appropriate page. It's going to say complete. So let me show you what this event looks like. If I go to edit, you can see I have all these things checked off. Now, you could look at them: message deliveries, message postbacks, messages, message account linking, message options, right? And some of these things Facebook provides code-wise. So thanks for watching. And next, we're going to go over the page access token and what to do with it. And we're back. Yes. So now that you've completed your webhook, the next thing is very, very simple. You want to come back to your token generation, select the Facebook page you want to associate your messenger bot with. And once you do that, Facebook is going to generate a token. You want to copy this token and you will paste it in your code. Now on line 57 of your code, and this is the index.js file, you're going to copy and paste it in here. Copy and paste it between the quotes here. And after you've done this, what you want to do is you want to come back to your terminal, type in get status. In my case, there's nothing to commit because I didn't need to save that. But in your case, you will have something to commit. So what you want to do after that is you want to do get add, get push Heroku master. You don't need to do this one. So you need to follow these four. So very simple. And next, we're going to go over a very fun part, and that is manipulating the bot. Welcome back. So right now you should have an app, a messenger app up live that you can actually message right to your page. So you can go to Messenger, find the corresponding page that you associated with your messenger app. In this case, it's Aha Moment Labs, and you should be able to interact with it. So when I go there and when I type hi, the parrot says hi. If I typed in anything else, it parrots that back up too. So except there's one command that I've programmed that won't do that, and that is aha. If I type in aha, this is what you get. You get back these cards. Okay, now these are cards that are provided again by Facebook. So there are two different types of cards. One has a web URL and the other one is a postback. A postback is simply a response. So if you push postback, it says postback received, and you can make it say anything really, right? If you did web URL, boom, it sends you to another. And then this is another type of card, the second type of card, which is just a postback. It does not include the link. Now, as you can see here, you have a number of different elements. You have a postback element. You have a an element right here where you have like a description. You have a title, and you also have the image. And over here, you have all those same elements, except there's also a web URL. Now, you may also be thinking, well, how many of these options can I include, right? Can I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 postbacks or URLs or combinations? And the answer is 3. You can have up to 3. So in both of these cases, there's 1 here and 2 over here. So let's say that you wanted to change this up. What would you do? Let's say that you wanted to change this up. What would you do? Well, you come back here to your code, and once you're at this point, what you need to do is you need to come to line 35, which is app.post. This is your webhook right here. And a little bit about how it works. If the text equals aha, send generic message sender. So what is generic message sender? Well, here it is, function generic message sender. Now, this is the cards that are provided by Facebook. So let's go over them real quick. This template, again, it's a template. The template type is called generic. And here's your title of your card. And now you can name this anything. You could say this is, you can call it your hello world, or it could be a part of your tutorial. You can call it anything you wish. The subtitle is the second element of the card, which is right here. Subtitle, right here, element 1 is pointed out. And then finally your image URL, okay, which is the image. Now, Facebook has a very specific image ratio that it wants you to conform to. I believe it's 1 to 191, something like that. Make sure that your images fit. It will work if they don't. However, it might give you a hard time going live with that because the images might be too large. So make sure you conform to those standards. So, and then after that, you have your buttons, right? So in this case, this is the first card. You have 2 buttons, and you have a type. This type of button is called a postback button, and this type of button is called a URL button. So the URL button clearly has a title, which is the name of the button, and it goes to a link. So you put those elements in. For postback, change the title to anything you want, and the payload is what is said once that button is clicked. And this is what is said at this time. So, and now this is the second card. Now the second card only has one type of button, and that is the postback button. So again, you can have up to 3 buttons per card. And also, if you go on Facebook, there's different types of cards. So there's a payment card, there's a card without a picture, and so on. So if you want more information on cards and generic messages, refer to the Facebook documents. So in this new file right here, I have updated it. I called it index test. So here in my index test, let's see where I'm at. Okay, I've changed some of these elements, and we'll just change some of them for fun right here. Say hi is the thing that will get us going. We'll say I like parrot. And then I've updated some of the cards. So in this, I've called it meditation. I gave it a subtitle of increase happiness one thankful thought at a time, and gave it a little image and a web URL and a title. Okay, and then this one I gave it 3 buttons instead of 1 or 2 buttons, so you can see what that looks like. And then I did a second card and then a third card. So each of these 3 cards has 3 buttons, and I've updated the types, the titles, the payloads, the links, and so on. So let's see what that looks like. Now I could go in and rewrite this on the index file, but it would just be easier if I rename this or rename both of them. So let me come to index. I'll do rename. Save, and then I'll come to test. Oh, don't want to delete it. Rename, and just eliminate the test. Make sure it's index.js. The index.js file is the main file of any JavaScript application. So once we've done that, we want to save it, Command S. And then we want to come into our terminal. Let me clear this. and we want to do git add space period git commit. And remember, when you're doing a git commit, you want to do -s message, and we'll say we're updating our card. So boom, it just updated it. And then finally what we want to do is we want to push it to Heroku. So git push Heroku master. And let's push this out to Heroku. See? Installing the modules, bam. So the build has been successful. Now it's just compressing it, launching it, deploying it, and here we are. So it should work. So let's go in and see what it looks like. So again, this is what it looked like before. We would say hi, the parrot says hi. Yo, what's up? The parrot says, yo, what's up? Aha, and we got our cards. So now let's go to a different message by just saying yo. And now it says parrot, yo. So you see how here it's parrot says and here it's just parrot. And now let's say hi. And now we're getting the cards, right? Because we changed our trigger word. Of course, you could add more trigger words. You could have multiple trigger words. So it makes your app far more conversational. So let's see what this looks like. Here I used the animated GIF. You can see that looks pretty cool. Now it does not show up on the Messenger app for the iPhone. I don't know why. Maybe the GIF is too big. Maybe it's not sized properly, but it does show up on the web version, which is kind of cool. And you can see here I added a number of different options. So it makes your app far more conversational. So let's see what this looks like. Here I used the animated GIF. You can see that looks pretty cool. Now it does not show up on the Messenger app for the iPhone. I don't know why. Maybe the GIF is too big. Maybe it's not sized properly, but it does show up on the web version, which is kind of cool. And you can see here I added a number of different options. And let's say that we go to the 10-minute meditation. What does that take us? Okay, it takes us to videos. It's a video link. And then we have Sounds of Nature, which is a payload. Oh, no, it's a link too. Sometimes I forget. So again, these are links. Let's see some of it. Okay, boom. Okay, see, we just got a response back, right? So, and this is kind of gives you an idea of how a chatbot works. Very simple, very easy. Certain words trigger certain actions, responses, cards, and so on. And then you can have certain methods that kind of like an echoing feature, a parrot feature. So again, you can come in here and you can manipulate it more. You could add more statements, more words that trigger things like hi, and in our case triggered it, or aha triggered it. One of the cool things you can do is you can just come in here and you can play with some of the other bots and kind of get an idea of how other people are creating bots. And this is from CNN. You can put in words like warriors. And boom, it gives you stories about the Golden State Warriors, right? You could read the story. You could ask CNN. If you read the story, this is like a link. It's going to send you to the actual story. If you want to read, if you want to ask CNN, you can do that. And then usually they have one more option, which is like snippets, but maybe they don't have that on this version. Okay, oh yeah, here it is. Get summary. So boom, and it just gives you like a small little summary of the story, and then you could do more. So here's another example of a card that doesn't have a picture. So you can see it just has 3 options. So again, messenger bots are very cool. They allow you to communicate. It makes things more interactive. It makes content interactive instead of static, and that's a huge shift. So once again, thanks for being part of this course, and I hope you learned a lot and that you got your first bot up, and now you can start manipulating and create cool new bots. Once again, thank you, and we'll see you in the next lecture. So one of the biggest challenges right now with chatbots is discovery. In other words, how does someone find your chatbot? How do they use it, and so on? Now, chatbots is so early in the game right now. This is akin to when apps first came to the iPhone. If you remember way back then, there was no app store. And also, Apple didn't support apps. At that time, in order for you to get an Apple app, what you had to do was literally jailbreak your phone, which would kill your warranty. And then you would download this third-party software, and then finally you would have an app on your phone. And they were pretty cool things. People were excited about getting apps back then. I'm sure you remember. And then finally, one day, Apple woke up to people creating apps for the iPhone. And they opened it up. They started creating an app store and so on. And then Android came into the game. And here we are today, where people are just kind of sick and tired of apps. They're trying to avoid them, hence chatbots. Now, chatbots are in their infancy. They're very, very early on in the game when it comes to Facebook. They have been on other platforms like Telegram, Slack, Twitter, etc. So they are alive. They've been around, but it's the first time that they're becoming mainstream. And with time, Facebook will probably fix the issue of discovery, but it's going to take time. So in the meanwhile, you have to find a way to get your chatbot discovered. Here are some resources you can use. You can follow some of the communities online. Again, it's very early in the game, and people are excited to find out about them. And these communities could be a great way to learn more and to share your chatbot and to get feedback and to get users. So one of them is called AI Chatbots. It's Facebook groups, AI Chatbots. Very simple. It's here. You can come in here, join the group, learn about chatbots, and connect with people like yourself. So another great one is Twitter. Again, AI Chatbots / has a pretty good following here, and constantly shares information with the latest technology, chatbot information. And then there's also Reddit. Reddit is great. It's a great community to learn more about. And these are some of the top communities right now. I would totally recommend signing up to each one of these, learning about chatbots, always being on the cutting edge of the latest and greatest and what's happening in the community. So once again, thanks for taking this course. I hope you really enjoyed it. The focus of the course was to really help anybody, even if you're not a developer, if you've never seen code in your life, be able to create a chatbot within a few hours or a few days, depending on your level, and to have something out there, and then just to see how easy it is, and to see really that what's holding anyone back really is imagination. So once again, thank you for taking the class, and have a great time.